Oh, hey friends. It took a little bit extra to load today. I was a little nervous and then I said, "Nah, everything will be fine." And so I refreshed the page and here we are. We're live together. Sometimes you just got to pause and let the things work themselves out and not panic, right? Panicking doesn't help. So, good morning, or perhaps it's good afternoon or good evening, wherever you are in the world. I'd love for you to pop in the chat. Tell me how you're doing today. It's April 2nd, 2025. It most definitely feels like we're in a dystopian novel, and here we are. It's noon here. Happy afternoon. Happy afternoon. Oh, hey, Jean. Oh, hey. I love that emoji. That is the cutest thing ever. Come on in. I hope you have some kind of comforting beverage. I've got my coffee in my I am the dream from my Era of the Dreamers mug that my girl MA made us, which actually is available to everybody. Oh hey Genji. What's up, Kelly? Good morning. So, we're going to be working in our journals or a sheet of paper. I've got some paints. I've got some markers. We can do things a little differently today. I've been playing around with making my own oracle cards. So I pulled an oracle card for us today, and I pulled focus. And it says, attention given to what matters creates movement. Yum, yum, yummy. I'll take it. So we're going to be creating around the theme of resilience. Most of you maybe perhaps have seen that I recently shared a little slice of my life was featured in this book. Look up Global Stories of Resilience by author Heidi Seifkes. And it was basically capturing it's such a, when you've experienced something so big and then there's like this little capture, and there's this capture of like when I became a widow at 40, and then when I found love again 2 years later, and then my partner 6 months in got a cancer diagnosis. And then after, he went through his treatments and he was doing well, he opted out of our relationship. It was a lot, y'all. It was a lot. And so it's really just these beautiful stories about resiliency. And so it inspired me to spend the month of April talking about resilience. So that's what we're going to be doing today, is exploring resilience. And today's activity was inspired by my experience with the book, because I felt a lot of shame come up when the book was published. Shame of things not working out, shame of the loss and the grief. And so I want to explore both and the shadow and the light of resiliency, because resiliency usually stems from some hard shit, right? So there's feelings in that. And then there's this beautiful part of like embodying resiliency. And I want to explore both of those sides today. So I'm curious, on your heart, can you think of a way that you have had to be resilient? Now, I'm sure most of us have had to be resilient many times throughout our lives, right? There's not just that one time, but I'm curious if you can like lean in and just identify maybe one time, and that's the one time that we can take to the page today. So share with me in the chat box if you feel called. You don't have to share the thing, or you can. I'm obviously here to like witness and hold space with you. Or you can just say, yes, I know what I'm going to focus on. Camille, thank you for sharing that. Healing childhood trauma. Yes. That is a always evolving thing. Kelly, you said breaking through preconceived ideas about my own purpose or truth. Wow. Yes. Yes. Living with chronic illness for a long time. Yes. Medical resilience. Yes. Yes. These are really big things that we are holding and we are experiencing and we are presently in. Um, Thank you. Thank you for sharing that with me. So, if you haven't already, I'd love for you just to take a breath in. Let's take a big breath in. We're going to release whatever came before this moment that could be pulling your attention. May you have no other tabs on your computer trying to grab your attention, that you can just gift yourself this next hour together to do this really beautiful work, because I'm here for it. You're here for it. So let's go to town. We're going to start off with a journal prompt. You know I like my prompts. Y'all know I like my prompts. And we're going to take you also know, if you've been here before, that I don't spend a lot of time in the prompts. We spend about 3 or so minutes on each prompt, but I'm going to give us at least 5 minutes today to work on this prompt because it's big. And I want you to get out whatever you need to get out. So I'm going to pop it in the chat box and then I'm going to read it. I wrote it from a perspective of you reading it to yourself. What has challenged me deeply, and what did I learn or become because of it? And we might also be in the becoming, right? Because we're all currently, from what has been shared in the chat box, we're all currently still experiencing it. So let's take our 5 minutes and let it rip. Nobody's going to read it. Nobody can see yours. So be as transparent and open and honest as you need to be. All right, here we go. Jumping in. We're going to spend one more minute here. All right. Phew. Boy, that was a lot. How are you feeling over there? Hey, Jane, welcome. Can you see my prompt above? If not, I can repost it, friend. I'm glad you're here too. Well, I got a lot out. I got so much out. I started writing diagonally across my paper after I filled both pages. Oh, so yeah, just do a check-in because I felt myself getting the feels. I felt myself releasing some really big things. I could feel the wateriness of my eyes. So just really be with whatever came up. Let's acknowledge it. If you want to share anything in the chat, you are always welcome to. But let's just do a check-in with ourselves. And I'm just thinking about which step I want to do next. My brain wants to change things, so I'm just listening for a moment. Okay. So what we're going to do next is we're going to take some kind of coloring goodie. Could be a crayon, colored pencil, marker. And what I would really love for you to do is pull out those words that showed up in your journaling that just like summarize the pain, the discomfort, all of what you have been working through. What are some of those words that you can pull through? You can pull through as little or as many as you want. I am gonna, let's see, I might try this. This is like 4 colors in one. It's kind of neat. A word that came up a lot for me, well, not a lot, but like 3 times was unlovable. Ugh, stings, but that's it. So I am just gonna pull that out and just write it. And I'm just honoring it. I'm acknowledging it because we get to honor even the shit, right? We get to honor it. So it's part of our healing and the movement of going forward. So I'm just going to write unlovable. Feeling like I was giving myself away. Settling. I'm going to put Okay. And just trust yourself when you've gotten enough of those keywords out. It's good. It's enough. And now we're going to take a color, whatever intuitively comes up for you. And we're just going to lightly move some color over our journaling just to help us move this energy around. And I'm going to go light because we're going to go on top of this. And I am just creating breathing room on the page because there's a lot of heaviness here. So I am breathing as I am moving the color, staying grounded in my body, feeling my feels, being grateful you're here with me, doing the work too, knowing I'm not alone. We're moving it together. And this part isn't about covering everything. It's not about filling up the page. It's about using it as a tool to move the energy. You create some lightness, create some space for yourself and the page. And if you have any questions along the way, just pop them in the chat. I'll stay present to them. I notice blue's coming up a lot for me, so I'm just paying attention to that, thinking about what blue represents for me. Flow, movement, emotions, healing. We're all shocked. And I'm just giving it a minute to live and exist. I'm going to sip my coffee. I'm going to let you work on your color. And you don't have to share details, but I'm curious, how are you feeling in your body right now in regards to what came through in the journaling and just the movement of color and really acknowledging and honoring those keywords, even though they can be very hurtful? How are you feeling? I want to stay present to that. And as you finish up your movement of color, I'd like for you to think about a second color. Now, this color is going to represent who you be right now, who you be here doing this work. And even if you're still experiencing some of this, I'm imagining you have come on the other side of some of it, at least. Feeling strong, feeling a rawness, but the movement helps ease the flood of feelings. Yes, 100%. I am always grateful for the movement of the color. So this next color that we're choosing represents who we be in this moment. So I'm going with gold. That's right. Going straight for the gold. I'm going to take my paintbrush. Now, again, I used watercolor. Now I'm going to shift into acrylic. And it's okay that my page is still wet. Like, we're going to let them blend and work together. And, you know, the vibe of this was kind of the alchemy of resilience, the transformation. So I'm okay that the colors might bleed together, blend together. It's totally fine. It's part of the process. If you're working with crayons, colored pencils, markers, whatever you got on your end, it's beautiful. It's great. There's no right or wrong way to do this. I'm just feeling called to use paints. So the next step is really grounding into what has shifted for you. What have you been able to release? Like, where has the light shined in on the darkness? What do you see? So, for example, unlovable came up several times for me. I am actually, in a very honest way, able to say, oh, I'm lovable. I know that. It doesn't mean this stuff isn't real and present for me now, but I can actually see the truth that I am worthy of being loved by a healthy person. And so I am just going to move this gold thinking about that. And I'm not going to take my paintbrush off the page. I am going to allow it to do what it wants to do until I run out of paint. But I'm just going to let it go. Thinking about, fuck yeah, I'm lovable. And then when it runs out, I'm just going to dip in again and pick up where it left off. And this is really just what's in. It's just interesting the flow it wants to take. So just staying curious. Mine definitely wants to be in these like really flowy lines. Just feeling that. And the lines might meet. We might go over them again. And none of this has to make sense. We're just feeling. We're feeling it. We're feeling the movement. We're acknowledging how it feels in our bodies. And we're just surrendering control of what this needs to look like. And we're trusting the movement. Thinking about the transformation of our resilience from the challenge to the light to the strength to the confidence, whatever's coming up for you. How brilliant we really are, what we're able to create and transform. And none of this stays the same forever. If you feel like crying, cry, smiling, whatever emotion is wanting to come through, just allow it. Just allow it. It's always so funny. I create these and then I forget how much I need it. I'm doing the work over here crying. I'm like, oh my God. Oh, man. Woo. All right. Then if you're still in movement, be in movement, not behind. You're exactly where you need to be. I feel like I just want to pause and take a breath, just check back in with myself. One of the big pieces about this activity is just keep coming back to yourself. Like we're releasing, we're moving, and we're being really present to how we're feeling in our bodies. And when you're ready, we're going to pick a third color. We'll pick a third color. And this color is going to represent our wisdom. And I think, this might be a noisy tube. That's okay. Or it might be an empty tube. Let's see. Well, I guess that wasn't the color. Let's choose another color. All right. Okay. Now you can leave the color that's already on your brush if you're painting, or you can just because of the whole alchemic thing, I am just going to keep going with the paint. I'm not going to wash my paintbrush. I'm just going to dip it in. I've got like this kind of navy blue. And so this next movement that we're going to do with color is representing our wisdom. And I would love for us to go in the spaces in the in-between. Just do some movement in the in-between. And thinking about the wisdom that you carry now because of your experience. You can't get this wrong. When we think about strength and courage, what have we begin to see and understand from these experiences? can pause if you need to and reground. If you want to share any of the wisdoms coming through, you're more than welcome to share that in the chat. I'm thinking about just how critical it is to choose healing, how much pain is transferred from person to person because it comes from such an unhealed, yucky place. Unhealed people hurting other people, and it doesn't make them wrong. I really see the importance and the value of doing this work. We could be the best versions of ourselves, even in the messiness, even still carrying all the crap. We're not carrying all the crap, but some of it. Some of it. And we're going to do one final color. It's okay if you're not ready. I'm going to go ahead and do it. And this color is just going to represent some prayer for ourselves. Whatever prayer means for you, you get to define that. And we're just going to take just a little bit of paint out. Not too much. And I'm going to add prayer dots. And every time that I add a prayer dot to the page, maybe it's a prayer for myself, a prayer for somebody else, a prayer for the world. Could be the same prayer over and over again. Doesn't have to look a certain way. And we're just and you can do this wherever you want on your page. It's really being mindful. I love that, Jean. There's nothing wrong with you. That felt so revolutionary. Yes. Yes. We don't need to be fixed, right? We're not broken. But there's some healing and tending and love that gets to happen. And that's part of the journey. I love that. Kelly, that's beautiful. Working through difficult times gives us a chance to slow down, refocus, and be more intentional. We are more alike than different. That connection to others adds to the healing. That's so beautiful, because when we're in a place of chaos, when we're in a place of just like not being grounded, how could we even be intentional? How could we even come from that place of love? And right now, I feel very grounded. I feel grateful. I feel possibility. And I think it's important to have these rituals, these times in our lives to reconnect. I'm going to make a way better choice coming from the place I feel now than from a chaotic, overwhelmed place. And maybe your prayer dot wants to go through some of the painting, and that's okay. Your prayer dots could do whatever they want. I'm just thinking about all the healing that gets to happen, that is happening, and how we become better people because of it. How we deserve that peace that comes with healing. And check back in with your body. How are you feeling? I definitely feel lighter. I feel more at ease for sure. Thinking about how everything's touching, the healing, the wisdom, the hurt, how it all can coexist at once and also transform. How grateful I am for that. I'm totally aware that my inner critic is going, "Oh my God, your page is so messy." And reminding her that, well, friend, healing is quite messy. Transformation is quite messy. Being vulnerable and visible, quite messy. That calmed her down a little bit when she knew she couldn't rattle me. Not yelling at her, not mad at her, just reminding her of what I know. Shit's messy. And you don't have to do as much movement as I am. I'm just feeling called to, like, it just wanted to touch. Everything wanted to touch itself, like each other. The wisdom, the pain, the healing, the prayers, all of it. I was like, we are one. We do all of this together. Okay. Now I'm just going to let it be. We'll let it sit. We'll let my page have its feelings, just like me. And I'm just going to pause and listen. This is a good point to just pause and listen at what's happening, what's moving, what wants to come through. And I'm wondering, as you're in the listening of your page, if you can pull something from the listening that really stands out to you, that you're like, oh, this is my golden nugget that I can take with me. And maybe you want to write it on your page. I'm going to write, let's see, I'm going to take a Sharpie. Oh, thank you, friend. I know at first the prayer dots were like, let's just stay over here. And then they were like, no, we must go everywhere. So there's something coming through for me about there's always space for movement. No matter what kind of stuckness I might feel, there's always an opportunity for movement. So I'm just going to write that. I'm actually going to write it. I don't know why, but it wants to be written right here. And I'm just going to put there is always an opportunity. I have to move my journal a little bit. Okay, here we go. Now we're upside down all around. Okay. There's always an opportunity for movement. I love that. And if you know me, you know that's one of the pillars of my teaching is movement. So it's not surprising that's what came through for me, because that is something I really believe in. And it's a good thing to remember, because sometimes when we're in a place of stuckness, it feels like a forever thing. And so if you want to share your golden nugget, and maybe you had a couple golden nuggets, and that's okay too. Sometimes our pages are noisy. And if your page is being quiet, give it time, give it space. Maybe it just needs to sit and be. But if you'd like to share something that's coming through the listening, I'd love to hear it. Let's see, here's one. The strength with which I advocate for myself when it comes to my health needs to transfer to the rest of my life as well. Ooh, that's juicy. That's really good. How you see where it comes up in one area, but recognizing it gets to show up in all the areas. Ooh, that's potent. That's some good stuff. Thank you for sharing that. And this is a process that you can do anytime with any materials. If you're ever feeling like in that place of stuckness, that's what it feels like when you're in that space of holding those feelings that need to move through. You don't need, I mean, you can do the journaling, of course. I love the journaling, and that's a super important part of the process. But you can just move color. You can just put color over the page in that release. You can begin to take another color and move in flow and do a second color, do the prayer dots. And I'm curious, like we did some check-ins earlier in the call, especially after the big journaling, like checking in with your body now. how do you feel? I definitely feel more at ease. I definitely feel lighter. I don't feel as like tight wound. And checking in with yourself. And I think it's so important to recognize these things because it reminds us of how powerful these processes are. Like, even in just a moment in this time that we were together, how we can move those feelings, move that energy, move those thoughts, and really come out on the other side with our own wisdom, right? What's coming through the page is you. That's your wisdom. That's your insight. And so we're just giving it a space to feel at ease to come out. Kelly, you say, I am enough in all my pieces. When things seem overwhelming, reminding myself that I have the power to reclaim my peace. Yes. Yes. And I think that knowing keeps us from that downward spiral, keeps us from some breakdowns, and keeps us in a place of like, okay, I get to move some stuff around and I've got the tools. I have got the tools. You could literally just use a pen and paper. It's like, I think one of the things that I'm taking away as well is things don't have to be complicated. Like, how easy this process is, how you have everything around you in your environment to do this. So there's absolutely no reason we can't use this in our day to day or as we need it. And that's really my hope for you today, is to honor you, honor all the versions of you, right? Honor your past self who's experienced what they've experienced, honor your present self, claiming your wisdom, claiming your knowing. That is resilience. That is absolutely resilience. And so I'm really grateful for each of you showing up today and doing this page with me and willing to go on the messy ride. The messy ride of like healing and unraveling. And I hope that this brought you some peace and this brought you back to your center, because you are great. Yes, I get knocked down, but I get up again. Keeps running through my head. Yes, for reals. It's like life is going to be lifing. We're not trying to stop life from lifing. We're just trying to move with it and not let it take us down. And we have the ability to move the big stuff. We really do. We're pretty rad people. So I really appreciate you being here with me and doing this work. I honor you for choosing this. I swear every time we come together, we're tending a place in ourselves that needs some love and tending. So I honor you for choosing it. And if you want to share more, you're always welcome to email me. You're always welcome to come in the Facebook group and share your page. I'll be sharing my page. Yeah, thank you for showing up for yourself. Happy April. I don't know how it's April, but it's April. So happy April to each of you, my friends. And, we move some big things around today. So be gentle with yourself. Maybe you want to do some breathing. You want to drink some water. You want to move your body in some way. But take good care of yourselves. And I'll see you around the interwebs. Thank you, friends. I hope you have a wonderful day too. We'll see each other again soon.